Hello, welcome to Mind Blowing Mondays. We have our guest here today, Debra Faith Walshaw, the bold and sassy love coach. Welcome, Debra.
Thank you, Kundan. So glad to be here.
Awesome. So today's topic is on the soul equal. So I read a blog by Debra where she said that there is something better than finding a soulmate, which is a fascinating topic and really fits in with the theme of the show, Mind Blowing Mondays. That is mind blowing. So I would like you to talk about that.
Absolutely, I'd love to. Yes, the title of the blog, which is published on Elephant Journal, is "There is something better than finding a soulmate." And you might say to yourself when you hear that, really? How is that possible? We often all think of soulmate as the ultimate, right? And in many ways it is. But I've coined this phrase soul equal instead of soulmate. And the way that I define the difference is that a soulmate is someone that we can come upon in a more kind of accidental fashion, if you will, or we might meet someone where we just feel this strong connection, or we sense that maybe we have a lot in common with them, or we feel very connected to them. And it's not necessarily going to be an ultimate relationship intimately with that person. It can still be a soulmate. It can be friends, can be soulmates, and relatives can be soulmates. But soul equals are people who are on the same spiritual path as we are. So in other words, we make choices to live a very conscious life. We make choices to go inside and understand and do our personal development work and crack through all of those dark places inside of us that we haven't explored. And our ultimate goal is to better understand who we are as individuals so that we can then give back in the universe in a very holistic way. So the only way to go on this journey intimately with someone else is if they're also striving for that purpose. Otherwise, we're just going to be at very different levels, and our goals will be different. And if our goals are not in sync that way, it's very hard to move forward in a healthy way with somebody. So does that make sense, the difference to you about a soulmate versus a soul equal? I think for some people it's maybe a little confusing.
Yeah, it reminds me of the statement that love is not two people looking at each other, it's two people looking in the same direction.
That's awesome. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And to me, that direction would be inside, which then ultimately allows us to look best outside. If we don't look inside first, then our outside view is cloudy and murky and at best, right? Because we're going to bring all of our baggage to the view, to cloud up the lens.
Yeah.
So that's what a soul equal is. Somebody who really wants to get down and dirty with you in many ways, which actually ties into another blog I wrote called Soul Fucking. Soul fucking is, an intimate experience, a sexual experience that transcends the average lovemaking experience. So two people who are soul equals would have the ability to push past and through any fears and self-conscious chit-chat and all that stuff that gets in the way, usually when we're intimate with someone, all that stuff that comes up, especially in the beginning, before there's a lot of trust established. If you're with a soul equal, there's an unspoken even understanding. There's a desire for vulnerability and courage, and there's a desire for truth, really. It's at the end of the day, it's mostly about truth. So two people can come together and explore from this really honest place and just shed all of their inhibitions. And yeah, that's what I call soul fucking. So that two soul equals can also be soul fuckers.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's different from soulmates in the sense that I think the idea of soulmates is that of like like two halves, two broken hearts joined together instead of two whole people creating one fantastic partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see it as more like if it's in the form of imagery, it's like two full pots of water overflowing towards each other and intermingling towards with each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the ultimate expression of it. I think too, soulmates often, it's not necessarily about shedding the fears, breaking through the fears together. And that's what comes up so much in partnership. You know, we meet somebody, we fall in love, we have this great connection. And then, you know, we get past that honeymoon phase and all of our wounds start to show up and all of those fears kick in. And somebody who is looking for a soul equal type of partnership will not allow the fear to dominate the relationship. They'll embrace the fear and work through it and have honest communication and all those kinds of things that will take a relationship to the next level. That's another difference to me.
Right. Yeah, that's really beautiful. So it's like because we're committed to doing this work of really healing the childhood wounds, removing the subconscious programming, we get to a pure place, that of our higher self, or really our souls, basically. So it's really souls relating to each other and not this programming relating to each other.
Exactly. And there's a courage and a vulnerability that's just got to be there for both people. You know, one person can't carry that show all the way through. There's got to be a willingness from both people to make that happen.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Debra, for being on the show, Mind Blowing Mondays.
You're welcome, Kandan. Thank you for inviting me. Namaste.
Namaste.